Good evening. This is attorney Vince Davis. I'm here with my co-host, Cynthia Becker, and this is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. Cynthia, how are you this evening?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Anything special you want to do with tonight's show? We have 2 hours.
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay. Well, if you're listening out in the audience, if you want to call in, tell your story, ask a question, the number is 800-222-5222. That's 800-222-5222. So call in and share your story and ask your question. Okay, let's take our first caller, Cynthia. This is Jennifer from Missouri. Jennifer, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Oh, it's quite lengthy, but I lost my son back in August of last year, and he committed suicide, but he was a full-time father to my only grandchild, and so my only child, my son, when he passed away, my grandson came to stay with me because I had been the only maternal role model in his life, and he's 12 years old. He just turned 15 in May. And he has his own bedroom here, and they only live a few blocks away. And my son got hurt on the job twice, and he got addicted to opiates. And long story short, he was getting really bad, and we stayed a family till the end. He told us that he was going to die, and then I should take, I take care of my boy. He should take care of my boy for me, and no amount of begging would make him stop. But he just couldn't get sick, so the second time. Long story short, my grandson and I, because my grandson had asked me in 2 months prior to my son's death, because he had been driving around under the influence, and it scared him because they had been in a couple of minor accidents. And he asked me to please help him find someone to save his dad and my son, of course. And my son made me promise I wouldn't interfere, but I did, and we went to the Family Justice Center. I picked him up from school one day. We went to the Family Justice Center back in May and asked them if they could help us, and CPS came in there, and the juvenile sheriff and I. Anyways, they came to my house, and they went to my son's house because they thought I was trying to get guardianship or something. But my grandson, all he said was, "I want you to help my dad," and that's what we were there for. We were there to see if we could find some way of helping him. He had been through every program there is in rehab and all that, and nothing was working. And of course, we saw how his health had deteriorated, over the years, and it was really bad there towards the end. And they just told us to go home, that neither one of us had any rights, and so we went home with him to my house. And 2 months later, my son, place was knocking on my door, and my son passed away. And my grandson's staying here, and I got him ready for school. Got an established residence so I could get his mail for his insurance and all that stuff and school stuff. And CPS knocks on my door 2 days later and said that they had gotten an abuse hotline call on me and the estranged mother of 10 years. And I didn't believe it, but I let him in. I said, I don't really trust you because of the way you treated us when we came to you for help. I told him that we could trust you guys. That I had 3 state licensed daycare centers, and I've worked with the state of Missouri. Jeanette Bray, she's a licensing rep for daycare centers, and I was sitting on showing large corporations how to have on-site facilities and the cost and how effective it was.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a spotless background. I sent all that in. I just saw things. I just never imagined that this would happen to me, and I just still am. It's like I'm shaking my head. I'm in a nightmare.
Well, Jennifer, let me ask you that. Has CPS taken your grandson from you?
Yes. Let me tell you what happened is when he was here, like I said, they showed up 2 days after my son was dead, and I was trying to get my head together. I was grieving, of course, and we both were. But they started hounding me, and so I gave them my background and all my information, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm trying to get a lawyer's appointment. What are you pressuring me for? Because I passed the investigation and everything. She said, as long as he stays here, he's safe. Because I told them, I said, if the mother shows up, she's going to want to take him. And they go, well, she can't, but she couldn't because she abandoned him. My son got custody, full custody of him because she abandoned him. And it's on her record, says court order to do all kinds of things that she never did. And so, and since she didn't do those, she does not get unsupervised visits with him. So she hasn't visited with him much over the last 10 years. But she came and she heard, through the grapevine, we had the memorial here, but that my son had died. And she said that CPS was talking to him up at the school, and she'd gone up for school to his lunch a couple of times. And I said, what are you doing? And they told me that the mother needed to be investigated as well. And what happened was when I told them that I was trying to get guardianship, they said, no, she can take him and she can, she deserves a chance with felony assault and domestic record. And I said, no, she doesn't. I have a court order that says that she doesn't get unsupervised visits. And just because a parent dies doesn't mean she's changed. And I said, she doesn't even have a home. You got to let her take him. She doesn't have a home, a job, a car. And you say he's safe here, but they wouldn't initiate anything, help me in my time of grief so that I could fix straight. Lawyer's appointment was 3 or 4 weeks out. I couldn't get, before I could get to the lawyer, she took him and went on the run for 6 weeks, and that's when CPS took him. They wouldn't take him when he was here.
So CPS gave the child to the mother.
Yes.
The mother kept the child for a couple of weeks, and then CPS took the child from the mother.
Yes, and I told CPS.
Wait, hold on a second. Jennifer, did you go to court or try to go to court to get custody of the child?
I tried. No, they took him before I could do that, and my son had just passed. I hadn't even got his body to the funeral home when she was starting to harass me and the mother was playing, and she took him and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have enough time to do it, and it was because my grandson is all I have. He's all I have left of my son, and he's all I have as far as family left in this world. I'm alone. I've been on this journey all alone, other than a few people that I've met on different sites.
Well, Jennifer, are you doing anything right now to affirmatively try to get the child back in your home?
I have become a certified litigant. I've been researching, and I've tried to go up and file, but they didn't make me a party to the case at all.
Okay, wait, Jennifer, stop.
Yeah.
Did you say that you were researching and that you did something?
I've been researching and trying to. I did go talk to a couple of lawyers, and I couldn't get anybody to say what needed to be done. They were both two different stories.
Okay, well, this is what Jennifer, this is what you were doing. You should do, because we're heading to our first break. You have to get a lawyer that's experienced in the CPS laws. I'm sorry?
I've been trying. I've been putting it out there. I cannot seem to get anybody to call me back. They listen to, the situation. My grandson has a settlement pending.
What city are you in Missouri?
Springfield, Missouri.
Okay. So Springfield is a pretty big, city.
Yes.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Cynthia to help you. Cynthia is an expert in finding lawyers for people to help. She did it herself. So, Cynthia, why don't you give her a number where she can call you and you can help her this week find someone, a lawyer, to help her?
Absolutely.
What's the number, Cynthia?
Jennifer, go ahead and just message me the way that you have been, and I'll give you my number on there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this week, Cynthia, help her find a lawyer in her area, because if not, she probably is not going to get her grandchild back.
I know.
Okay. Jennifer, yes. I want to thank you for calling and thank you for listening. And, in a couple of weeks, call us back and let us know what's happening, all right?
I will. I most definitely will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer, calling in. Yes. All right, Wayman, are we ready? Okay, we're ready for our first break. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Services and Win. Cynthia and I will be back with more questions and more stories from the audience.